2014-2611. It's the Easton Village Road location. Okay, so everyone's had a guidance to the general documents and the documents relating to traffic and drainage and light pollution. Now, there's one point of information which I'm not certain about after your comment. When I asked I think on at least one occasion when we had two members of the team come here and have a presentation, I asked about the Marlingford Road from Marlingford travelling up through past the school to the Durham Road. I didn't pick up that there was going to be only a left turn at that point.
No, they were hinting at that's what they would like to see happen.
It's not in. I didn't pick it up out of the documentation.
Yeah. It was mentioned last night's meeting that's.
I know they were talking about it. I don't quite. To be honest, I haven't really seen how it works. No. But they were talking about trying. I know there was something about all the traffic outside the school, and they were trying to make sure there wasn't so much traffic going past the school, and so they were trying to do something, but I couldn't tell you exactly. I didn't go to the display they had at the weekend at Easton, and I'm not right up to date with exactly how they're going to do it, but I know they were talking about it last time they were here.
I mean, certainly, trusting my recollection, the answer I think I got was that you would reach the Durham Road and you could go all the way. That's what the plan looks like. But you know, I mean, plans can change.
Mm.
So what I want to start by doing, well, perhaps I would backtrack a little bit. I mean, the Parish Council has been commenting on the Easton Village Road location all throughout the local development framework, now local plan. I mean, our primary comment, going back to the first consultation in 2010, was that we did express a grave concern about the scale of the development. That was a concern that reflected what we saw as an impact on Marlingford and Coal. We weren't, I believe, making a comment about the development as such, but its effects on us. So, are there any general questions that people have at the moment about anything about the development?
It's currently slipped my mind. 907 dwellings in proportionate terms. What sort of expansion is that?
Yeah.
It's more than what's there at the moment.
It's 150% increase in the village size.
It is more than doubling.
We've got 600 houses at present.
It is what we said in 2010. It is a huge development.
Changes the character completely, doesn't it? Completely changes the character of the area.
But does it change the character of Marlingford?
No, but I still think that maybe not, but surely we have a voice to support our local, the next door village.
See, I think it does have an impact on Marlingford. I think it would increase the traffic going through Marlingford, which would have a very substantial difference to Marlingford, especially that road out to the Washington Road and across the bridge. That's going to make a difference. But I also think the light pollution is actually going to affect Marlingford. You know, we are quite lucky in that we actually don't have any lighting. At night, it really feels like we could be a lot further away from the city than we are, you know, at times. And already you're getting pollution coming from the college, this low cloud, it literally lights up Marlingford. You get an impact when you hear the noise from the bypass if the wind's in the wrong direction. You know, that noise and traffic noise is going to increase considerably. I think it would have quite an impact on Marlingford, both visually and environmentally. And the flooding, I think there is a real possibility that that road coming down from Easton, which presently runs pretty much like a constant stream in heavy rain at the moment, unless something's done about that drainage and the whole infrastructure, I think it could impact on us quite significantly.
I mean, these are the points about traffic and about light pollution are ones that we've made before. What we missed before was drainage. Those are things that something can be done about, and so we ought to make those points again. I mean, this is an opportunity now to go beyond what we did in the local plan consultation. I mean, it's an opportunity to state again, you know, what our concerns are about that. Noise one's a tricky one because that does come up in the environmental assessment because it's a problem for the development that's on the north side of the Durham Road. It's recognised as a problem for that, and so what one would hope is that that would have some impact on the noise from the bypass. But noise in a rural area is, I guess, well, we all know, it travels an amazing distance. So there's certainly traffic drainage and light pollution.
I think that this issue with the number of houses, the number of vehicles, we all know that if you're going to add 900 houses, you are adding at least 1,800 cars to the road, at least. All of a sudden, we're going to get trapped, you know, getting out of the village. I mean, straight away, I'm going your way. You know, immediately I'm starting to think, crikey, if I've got to get out of Colton, and obviously I don't always have a choice which way I'm going to go, but if I'm going to come out of Colton and I can go around a different way, then it's going to be Marlingford way, isn't it? So, I mean, you're quite right. But I think the increase in traffic is going to be phenomenal. I mean, I only have to look. I've been a driving instructor for 12 years now. And in those 12 years, I have really noticed a massive increase in parked vehicles during the day outside houses. So where you're taking pupils as learner drivers and you're taking them to housing estates, the number of parked cars there during the day is huge. I mean, I used to take them to these estates and it was all nice and quiet because everybody's out at work. Now, either they're all at home or they've all got these extra cars that sit at home while they go out to work. And so that's clogging up the streets as well. So you're going to add 900 houses, you can be sure that you're adding one heck of a lot of vehicles. And I really think the road infrastructure is a massive issue, much, much bigger. I do feel roads are swept under the carpet. We've seen it around here all the time. We've seen the result of all those houses in the Cossey area, and we're now going to add to it, and with nothing in the infrastructure. And no sort of consideration that adding 900 houses, what that's going to do. More than just a few buildings, isn't it?
I agree. I mean, everyone said everything that I was going to say. I'll just second it, really. I mean, I don't think anything should happen without a clear plan as to how just the physicality of the area can support the additional houses going on. I mean, it's a massive expansion at Easton, and it's hard to even see how something like Easton can support it. Just the geography and yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I don't think it should go forward without clear plans to what's going to be done, especially with regards to roads.
Yeah, so that that really strongly suggests that we have to reiterate the points we made before, which in my view applies more to Marlingford than to Colton, really, in terms of extra traffic. I don't picture extra traffic.
It's not the extra traffic coming in, it's us getting out.
Yes, it's us getting out, which is I think, that is people from Colton, is the us in this case. It's people from Colton getting out by St Peter's Church.
Yes.
But I think in terms of the volume of traffic, I would guess that there's going to be more traffic travelling from Easton through Marlingford. Now we don't
also, wouldn't you really? I mean, it's far closer.
we don't have.
I mean, it does take you through eventually to Rotten Road.
Of course, we don't have traffic forecasts in the environmental assessment.
I do think we should also, sorry to interrupt, Chairman, but I do think that we should also be seen to be supporting the wider picture, that we may be looking at our own villages, but there's more than just our own villages to look at, because the wider picture is the impact on Easton and then the impact on the whole of the infrastructure, all the buildings, everything that's happening there. It has a massive impact on our whole environment, not just our little tiny communities. Yes, we will individually have some impact, but I think it's a much wider impact, and we should show that. And it's very worrying to see on the news this evening that local authorities are not being listened to. I mean, that's actually there on the news tonight that they are concerned that we are being pushed aside. I don't mean parish council and district council and so on. Local people are not having their views listened to. So I thought, my first thought was, well, we've got to shout louder then. And I think having something like the gentleman here tonight shows that we work together.
So we're wanting to express concerns, I think, about the wider issues of the long water interchange and the whole long water.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is for it, but situation, let's say.
I think, Chairman, the other issue is for that large number of homes and dwellings trying to maximise the number of houses on a particular area of land, the concern about the width of the streets, and therefore when you have a problem, the access for the emergency vehicles. This is going back an awful long way, but when they built Bothwell in the 70s, they got that very, very wrong. On one of the original sites, there was only one way in and one way out. And yes, that's right, and they never changed it, did they? And I do wonder if that's also something, another layer of consideration. It would be awful, but anybody should be trapped in there. And if you do have the situation of double parking, an ambulance can't get to a house, they can't move the patient, and away we get them. And there's a terrible problem. And if they have, the developers have tried to maximise the houses they can put on a particular site. That could be one of the risk factors.
Yes.
I think we could make some sort of comment that what undoubtedly is being done is to try and restrict traffic past the school, and that undoubtedly is going to end up with speed tables or something. I mean, I don't know what will happen, but they'll do something.
Yeah, they looked at speed tables, if I'm able to say. They did look at speed tables, but I think they rejected those because of the noise and the complaints from the neighbours to where that speed table would be. I think they were going to look at, I remember when I was on the council, it was about 14 years ago, we looked at trying to put a big speed table in that whole area, but there seemed to be opposition to the noise that would create and so on.
We're not going to suggest it with anyone. We can point to problems, but we're definitely not going to point to solutions. Because that's a professional judgment really in the end. But yes, I don't see why we shouldn't mention, given the density of development, that there could be knock-on effects from problems with emergency vehicles access. So that's making some sort of strong statement about the access from Colton to the Dereham Road and the roundabout at the end of the southern bypass. The access from Marlingford through Easton, and the extra traffic from Easton through Marlingford, which is going to need careful consideration. Does that in a broad sense sound?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yes, I mean, yes, I guess everyone's had a look at the details of how the Marlingford Road, Hall Road junction will change, and how the access from Colton to Church Lane will change. Well, we expressed concerns about the access and concerns about the Marlingford Road traffic in both directions. Right, so is there anything else about traffic? And we will of course mention the wider issues of long water and so on. Right, so drainage. Fortunately for us, the Flood Defence Officer has produced a comprehensive report on the drainage issue, which you've all seen, I think. Essentially, all the surface water drainage that comes off the new development, and off Easton itself for that matter, as it is at present, flows through Marlingford village to the River Yare. There is nowhere else for it to go. What the Flood Defence Officers pointed out is that it's crucial that this be minimised, that any surface water drainage be minimised, but she's sceptical that it will be possible to achieve no extra surface water drainage over and above what there is at present. And for a straightforward reason, it's 50% hard surface going in. And so what we need is to be sure that there's a drainage scheme that reduces surface water runoff as far as possible, and that there are firm arrangements to ensure adequate long-term maintenance of private drainage systems and riparian ditches all the way from Easton to the River Yare, which is not a point I think that's at all clear from the plan. I'm not saying it's obscured in the plan, but I would say it's not at all clear. That's partly because the map that they presented of the current drainage situation stops just north of Marlingford village. They recognise it in the document, so they're not ignoring it, but it's the sort of thing that can get overlooked when you have a map that's got a strong visual impact. Whereas it's obvious actually that everything goes through Marlingford, and we know that from Kath's comments that we know that there's already flooding at the Marlingford Bill general area, and that this is thought to be because of inadequate maintenance. So those sort of points need to be made. I think that they have to be really sure that they're preferably reducing any surface water drainage to no more than this at present.
Can I just say on that, for the local cyclists, one of the issues is road silt, and certainly between Marlingford and Broadmoor, on the Broadmoor Road, there is at the moment unsafe levels of silt on the road for cyclists. Obviously that's a hazard when it comes to braking as you approach the speed limits of Marlingford. And I think, if there's going to be any increase in water runoff, then that will have an impact on the approach to the village. And really I don't see why one So I would support that going as a strong statement tonight.
I think one thing, Mr. Chairman, on that subject of drainage, one of the important things about making this point that any drainage is going to result in far more use of the drains and ditches in Marlingford, makes sense to me. Sometime in the future, when I probably won't be around anymore, there's going to be some CIL money available, resulting from this 907 buildings that are being slung up. And I think some of that may need to be used in Marlingford to improve the ditches and drains. And I think if we make this sort of point now, it will stand us in good stead sometime in the future when we make a case for CIL money to be given to us, a portion of the CIL money. Now in the past it's always been said that CIL money only goes to the parish where it's been spent. But in this case I think when you've got the effect in Marlingford of building in Easton, any CIL money available for those buildings, part of it surely must go to a place like Marlingford to maintain the drains and ditches. Because they're going to be used far more. Water's got to go somewhere.
With gravity normally.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
But I mean,
And it is
we've got
called
a precedent.
Marlingford for a reason.
3 or 4 years ago, we got a grant from South Norfolk to improve all the ditches and drains in Marlingford. It took a year to do it. That sort of exercise is going to have to be gone through more often. I don't think there's any doubt about that at all.
yeah, there is a statement in the environmental assessment that actually they should aim to do better than present. And I think we can quote that back to them. Okay, so, well, I'm fully sympathetic with the civil statement. I mean, we did try this before without notable success, but it's a perfectly fair point. We're suffering the consequences, and I'll mention the silt thing.
If you go to a household or a long Barker Road, you say, well, you've got to do a bit more for your ditches, and they say, well, it's going to cost me £300. All because of 907 houses in Easton, they're not going to be very happy.
So, if I could summarise that up, we should make a strong statement of our own along the lines that we've suggested. And we should, I think, fully endorse the Flood Defence Officer's report. So, does that sound okay on that? I think what we're getting to is that we'll end up with a draft statement. Oh, this is going to be quick, isn't it?
You've now got until the 20th. We've got an extension until the 20th for comments to be put in.
Yeah, our extension runs to the 13th.
Oh.
Which is not a problem, I don't see no problem. I mean, surely we're opposing the application in its present form unless the various steps we've just gone through are put in place.
Yes. So, what...
Well, I say opposing the application, it may sound too strong, I don't know, but...
Well, I mean, that's a question, but up to now we haven't actually explicitly opposed this. In all the consultations about Easton Development, we have not registered actually an opposition to the development as a whole or any particular site within the development.
I mean, we have a clear choice when we return the forms to South Norfolk to either recommend it should be approved or refused. If we refuse it, and we've got to give some reasons, which we've just gone through several things.
With clarity of things that have been explained to us, both in the presentations that we've seen, the data on the planned sites, and from residents who would be more significantly affected, I think it would be reasonable for us to change our.
I think like you said, I think that would represent the views of the second parish council.
Okay, so what we'll be doing is opposing it and saying that we have concerns, serious concerns about the traffic, the drainage and the lighting. We haven't come to the lighting yet, but come to that. If we're going to do this by Friday,
I don't see a problem.
okay. Okay, if you what
I mean, basically, what we do is an attachment to this form which we return.
yeah.
The attachment would basically go through what we've just gone through there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that. Well, it's up to members, really. Whatever.
Well, okay. So the question for members is: are you happy for Max and I to produce the response in the terms we described, and you won't see a draft? Okay, we'll do that. So lighting.
I'm press going here. I mean, are you happy with it?
Yeah, I dash off documents like that.
There will be equality, and you've not misrepresented us so far.
Based on what's been produced already, it's a small point.
Oh, fine.
I just don't feel we need any more tonight, that's all. Maybe that's just me.
No, that's okay. I think we have a clear view of what we want to say, and we have strong concerns.
We've made these points time and time again that traffic's an issue, drainage is an issue, and one other thing, of course, is the lighting.
Yeah. So with regard to the lighting, I think there's actually a very thorough lighting report. My feeling is we don't need to make a strong point about this. I think we could just say that we would encourage the use of all possible measures to reduce pollution in the night sky. I mean, this is an area that's being transformed, so I'm told, by road engineers. That things are changing all the time. So I think if we made a simple point, that would probably be worth doing.
There's a very good new technology that makes sure the light goes down and is in some areas can be motion activated. So I think as long as they address those, it's more important that we make the other points stronger.
Yeah. So okay, we will mention the lighting, but just in those terms. Okay. So I think we're there. If we all agree.